But we do have to come back. We do have to come back and chat a little bit more about this next coach, because it is a really interesting change in focus, and that's for the New England Revolution, who have hired Marko Mitrovic. And it was interesting because Jim Curtin was, linked there for a while, and he did a 180 and was like, "No, I'm good. Thanks, but no thanks." So I was really interested to see where they were going to go with this. Would they go MLS experience? Would they go overseas, guy looking for his chance? Would they go big name? And it turns out that they go with a youth development guy in Marko Mitrovic, who most recently was with the US U20s at both the World Cup as well as the Olympics. Now, coincidentally, he got knocked out. He got out of the group in both of those tournaments just to get knocked out embarrassingly by a very good Morocco side in the quarterfinals of each competition. So he's got some nightmares about that. But he boasts some pretty impressive results at that level, beating French and Italian U20 sides by a combined 6-0 in the group stage and in the first knockout round. Thoughts on the hire? What are you thinking about this one?
I was actually going to say that I think I am on board for it. I like that it's different. I like that it's a change. I will say that I think it's risky. I mean, it's his first senior level head coach job, from what I can tell. So obviously with that, that's going to come some risk, but it's different. He's had some success at the youth level, so I'm optimistic. New England is not too far removed from having this like little era of producing a couple guys through their youth system. So, maybe he's a guy that can turn them back into that, or maybe even start something anew for them. Maybe he gets them into a new era where they're almost more of the Philly or Dallas model. But, New England occasionally is willing to spend on designated players. So, if you can get that baseline down and then bring in the right designated players, all of a sudden you're looking at a much stronger New England team. So, I think it's risky, but I'm on board for the risk. I like it.
I'm interested. I don't know if I want to say I like it yet, but I'm interested because I think it shifts a focus to the identity of the New England Revolution, and it piggybacks off a very interesting recent trend in MLS where they go with these guys who have significant youth development experience, right? I think most recently of Mikey Varas in San Diego, coming out of the youth national setup, or the national team assistant coach, and has had a very, very good year in San Diego. This is a shift from what they're used to, right? Back when they were with Bruce Arena, they won points records and supporter shields on the backs of guys like Matt Turner and Tejan Buchanan. A few years later, you see this guy Asmir Bajraktarevic, who, balls out on the wing, nets them a cool 4 mil, one of their most electric players in a very, very bad year. But before those guys, I don't, and maybe you can help me out with this. I can't really think of a prospect to break out of New England's academy and be a star in the league, right? A big name that gets moved over, and maybe draft picks can count here, but even then, I think they've hit on a couple of those and not had their genuinely the only person I can think of coming out of the academy and being successful is Diego Fagundes. And if you give him a couple more years, this guy's going to break into something special. I promise you. Like he's got the world of potential.
He does.
Anybody like jump out at you that I might be missing here?
Um, no, I mean, because you focused on just the academy, my had thought had gone to Kessler, but he's a draft pick guy, so I
Okay,
don't think
and
he
that's
would
fair.
count.
That's fair. Like that's but again, he didn't blow up on the scene, right? Like you had guys like DeJuan Jones
Yeah.
and Brandon Bai who were kind of in that, national team mix for a little bit. But even then, it's like they weren't like bang on starters like Tejan Buchanan is for Canada or like Matt Turner has been for the men's national team.
Yeah.
So, things like that kind of make me interested in what this is gonna, change their philosophy to because if you look at the way that their team is set up, right? Their DP options are Carlos Hill, duh, Thomas Chancalay, good, and Matt Turner, who is going to be bought down next year. They have all of their U22 slots filled, and I wouldn't be shocked based off of this hire if they go with the two DP four U22 model next year to bring in more youth for Mitrovic to work with. Right? Look at their emerging talent that they have coming up. Peyton Miller, a name that we're all watching. Jack Panayutu is somebody that I've seen have success in USLC and kind of have this on the bubble. Maybe he will, maybe he won't with the national team. Maybe a guy like Mitrovic comes in and gives him that chance. Right. Then you look at some of the newer signings, Luca Langoni, Dor Turgeman, Alan or Yearworth. Ili Feingold, and I'm so sorry. I know I butchered a ton of those. But all of these guys are U23 players, right? Or U22 players, or fit into this mold of young, exciting talent. And I think you might be seeing a shift in New England's roster building ideology. And this coach kind of ties it all together where they wanted to go younger. They wanted to be a little bit more impactful with their lower big, no, non big name signings, if you will, and see if they can get it right.
I mean, it feels like they have an identity again. And a lot of teams are stuck in this, I call it purgatory, where they just don't have an identity. Like nothing seems to really point in a direction for them. That honestly, DC kind of reminds me of that. Like I have no idea. I could not tell you what direction DC's heading except for the bottom. But now New England, like you kind of see a direction coming together. You know, with the head coach signing, with some of the young players that they've been like they created the opportunity for Peyton Miller in this team, very obviously when they traded DeJuan Jones. So
Right.
it's clear they wanted to go that direction. This is a coach that's going to support that direction. So I think it's a good idea for them to have somewhere to head towards instead of just like, are we going to build youth? Are we going to go for winning now? Like it's clear. And I think the clearer it is, the more you can better like assist that goal.
Just a fun fact. I was looking up some of their rosters, 2019 roster. That's 6 years ago now.
Ain't
Tejan
bad.
Buchanan's first year with the team. He's 18 years old. Diego Fagundes was 22 in 2019, and he had been on the team for like 8 years.
That's
Or not
nuts.
not 8 years, 6 years because I was 14, right? And that just blew my mind because I see Diego Fagundes as a guy who's been around forever, and Tejan Buchanan was like just the young kid on the block, and they were 4 years apart. Oh, we're so old. Um,
Yeah, Diego Fagundes is I gotta find mouse. He's
he's not even
30.
30. Yeah, he just turned 30 this year.
Yeah,
He's been playing for 16 years.
it's nuts.
Oh God, he made 32 appearances this year, by the way, for LA. So guy's
Yeah.
still kicking.
Yeah.
And he's gonna
He
leave
might he
apparently.
he, he might break the games played record at some point.
He might. But yeah, I'm interested because I think they've got and I don't know a lot about what their youth system looks like in terms of MLS Next Pro or where they're going with that, but I would imagine that they're starting to build that up. New England's a hotbed for talent. I mean, you guys know that, or at least I know that well just from coaching and playing in that areas. There are ballers out there, right? Boston Bolts has picked up a pretty good chunk of the area there, but they can tap into some really good potential and turn them into some big players if they get it right. So very interested to see where that goes. I also am curious if maybe Mitrovic tries and does something like pull some of these players that he played against in the U20 World Cup, like some of these Moroccan kids that that might be an interesting transfer strategy for him. Be like, oh yeah, this guy torched us 2 years in a row. Let's go get him, and he'll be pretty good here.
Yeah. I think he's gonna have that's why I agree with you that I think they would go the 4U22 route because I'm sure he's got guys in mind that he wants to bring over.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.